To Artist in Recovery. Morning, Daryl. What's up, dude? It's 26th of January 2024. Time and dates don't get me started. It's 4:11 in a bloody morning on a West Coast time. I listened to Kurt Cobain a long time ago when he was on doing the grunge work on 80s radio there. And no, I didn't read the article concerning about his death or anything else gruesome like that. I really didn't want to get into the thing. That's why I didn't watch part of that video of yours in the first place. I'm surprised you're still stuck on TMZ and stuff like that. Me, on the other hand, I sniff around some of the news articles just to see what's happening these days, and I found out that we. Oh, I just found out about this. No. We've always been this way. What am I saying? One article that I came across on CNN on my previous video I mentioned about school district out there in Texas, so backward ass. It's not even funny. It's not even funny on this one here. You got a school district out there picking on the black community and hiding behind skirts. I said it. I said it. I'm not taking it back. As soon as I get these videos done, I'm going to modify and edit on the description to add this stuff on there because this stuff is important. Now, Daryl, when you were growing up as a kid, as a teenager in the youth, even if you had survived school during those days, did it ever occur to you to pay attention to certain things around you? How students were dressed, acting, wearing hairstyles, what they're allowed to wear, what they weren't allowed to wear. Anything kind of pops out in your head. We listened to music a little bit low in our break time back at Kennedy High School. The liberal state of California. Of course, the radios were going to be confiscated, but we kept it real low and held and just sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't, depending if the teachers had a burr up their ass. But we weren't suspended. That's not that I've seen anyway. Video games, that was a different thing altogether here. But we're talking about hairstyles, dude. Private versus public at this point over here when it came down for clothing here. And the private institutions that I was trying to say before in the other video, uh, they had the dress code. They had the dress codes. And the public, you know, had to be a certain, you know, not exactly the length of hair. I mean, we did have long hair, freaky looking people. And we did have rock shirts left and right. We had science fiction shirts. We had weird ass shirts happening these days. Didn't matter who or what it was. Didn't matter which student was wearing what. College is like that these days. These days we got the superhero and science fiction crap going on. Sometimes you have the looks of Daisy Dukes walking on the campuses. Oish. But when I'm dealing with a high school student here in Texas, one of the most cluster screwed up. Oh, there's a lot of harsh I could use on this one here, pal. One of the reddest states that didn't know their ass hot rock. Shall we say that one? Limiting and yet not limiting. Talk about confusing and conflicting people left and right. A conservative asshole. Well, we all know who the governor asshole is over there in Texas. He signs into law in 2019, a few years back, allowing black students to express themselves in a way. The hairstyles. What's wrong with that? It's like, oh my god, what the hell is that? Dude, a lot of negative stuff I can really throw out on this one here. It'll tick off Google and YouTube like crazy. But our own racial discriminations are going off left and right on this one. That it has to be said. It has to be mentioned. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm going to say it anyway. You know I wear these kind of shirts. Okay, what does that mean to a lot of people? Not just the live long and prosper crap. No, 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 no. What I'm talking about, the meanings of it. I mean, hell, you talk to other Trek fans about this thing, and we can go off for hours on this thing. But for a normal, regular person who looks at the United Federation of Planets, they only think Star Trek. But anything deeper than that, Federation, what does that stand for? What does United stand for? United in what terminology? In what example? What are we saying here? A federation. Okay. We are talking about a group. Okay. They are joined in at the hilt regarding a situation. Okay, compare this to the United States of America. Now, people have been having identification issues concerning about what it is to be united and living in a pluralistic society, whether or not it's going to be in the future or in the present. Okay, can we understand that point? Can we try to figure that one out? Sorry, I'm just looking at a damn roach here, just a little tiny thing here. Just come on, get off. Thank you. Well, pain in the ass. We are talking about First Amendment rights. We're talking about freedom. We're talking about freedom of expression here. We are talking about trying to find a common ground between the us versus them crap going on. You got a school district kicking out kids concerning about their damn hairstyles. But to say they're not kicking them out because of one reason or another, they're a bad influence, or this or that, or to make up some kind of damn excuse. And one particular legislation that Texas had passed, called the Crown Act, this was giving those black students and any other kind of student an option of how to wear their hairstyle in form of fashion that feels comfortable to them. But it apparently is visually graphic and disturbing to people. If I'm going to be picking on people like that, shit, there'd be a lot of people I'd be picking on. You know, I kept thinking about it before I started washing my greasy, grainy hair that I'm washing about a couple of weeks. I'm thinking about a haircut to a short. I used to wear medium short. I used to wear an office style. I used to have the hair a little bit longer and not falling out as much. And I had to conform and comply when it came down for work practices and situations like that. Out here in California, I never worked anything beyond California's borders or beyond LA County for all that matter. But when it came down for company policies and guidelines, you're going to be working for a corporation, you're going to be working for a company. Yeah, there's certain guidelines and things that you'd have to work for unless you don't want the damn paycheck anymore. You're going to be working in an office, you got to be working, and you got to be addressing the appropriation here. Short haircuts if you had to. But if you're going to be doing if you're going to be doing long ass hair, put it in a ponytail. They still considered long hair, as being a health issue and not very professional. Maybe to a point they were right, but you're working in office environments where you have to be professional at all times. You have to groom the part. You have to be clean shaven unless you got your beard trimmed. Corporation at Disney, still had a fight for decades over if you're going to be allowed to wearing a beard or a mustache, and if it had to be trimmed to a point, and so would a beard if you're allowed, or even hairstyles or jewelry or anything else like that. They they still modify every so often what their dress codes are going to be, but they have to maintain a standard. They have to maintain a certain decorum, a function, a look, a signature look. Now, if you're a student, if you're a kid, dude, let's just say that you're no longer 58. You just turned back into the age of 16 or 17. What are you going to wear? If you're going to say Metallica or Kurt Cobain, you probably would be one of those students out there. Ew, what the hell are you doing? Am I going to be using the B word at this point over here? I'm either going to be describing a sex at this point over here, or am I going to get discrimination? Am I going to get really discriminatory in this one here? Am I going to be gender discriminating, or am I going to be mentally, or is it going to be both at this point? I got to work on that one, don't I? But it's still something we still live with all the time. But I was born genetically and physically a boy. Mentally, I was an alien. I was called a changeling throughout my growing youth. My family considered it a joke. I wasn't quite so sure. Changed at birth. I could have been someone else's kid. No, it wasn't just someone. You're an alien. Anyway, so if we happen to use the term boy, okay. You guys forgive me for going off on the deep end on this one here, including you, Daryl. Or you want to put it on me. What the hell? Put it on me, okay. I'm 17 and 18-year-old boy here. I listened to Kurt Cobain. I listened to Michael Jackson. I listened to the 70s music we had. We had listened to the 80s trash music. A lot of people call it the 80s trash music. That was freedom of expression. Good Lord. Who didn't like the Bengals? And right now, my head's going back in the 80s, trying to relive all that music out there. Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, Lionel Richie. Those others. But there were styles out there. How about Kiss? Metallica? Guns N' Roses? AC/DC? I mean, yeah, we had the 60s and the 70s, possibly the Beatles hip hop stuff. They were hip hop? Well, I don't know. How would you call them anyway? But back in the 80s, we were still dressing up with our favorite band shirts. Rush. I'll still say Michael Jackson. Marvin Gaye. Yeah. Kool and the Gang. Earth, Wind, and Fire. Temptations. Yeah. Some of the some of the groups I grew up with. But imagine that when you're in a school district during that time, and the teacher and the principals are glaring at you. Mr. Such and Such, your hairstyle is still out of whack and you're still wearing that dreadful shirt. What did we tell you, sir, about that? You'll have to go back home to change your clothing or be considered absent, and things will be going against you that way. Hey, sure, I don't have any other clothes right now, and the liner's being done. I don't want to hear any excuses at this point, boy. If you're a lot younger, you're probably sent to the principal's office, and then you have your parents to be talked at by the officials of the school. Or better yet, you're suspended until further notice, because of your style, sir. Now, in my case, I mean, if we had shirts like this growing up, we had shirts like we didn't have shirts like this. Hell, we didn't even have any Star Trek pins I could actually wear and produce. I mean, we had a few patches. I tried to wear a few patches, but you did the hand signs to tell the people, yeah, you're a Trekkie, you're a sci-fi geek at this point over here. But imagine if I was going through school during those days, and my own school district wasn't open enough regarding hairstyles or dress styles. If I came in across with a Star Trek shirt, you know what the hell they would say? What the hell is that shit? Mr. Weaver, get in the office over here. What the hell are you wearing? It's just a shirt, sir. Oh, no, 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 no. My coach over here was having an issue with you regarding this damn shirt because you've got people distracted over here. We don't need them distracted. We need them to learn PE. Now, what the hell are you doing over there? I just threw this shirt on because I had nothing else to wear in gym. Oh, so that's it. You couldn't even afford our own expensive shirts over here that has our school logo on it, but you'll wear something with an emblem on it. What are you, weird? What are you, nuts? Get another shirt on. I don't have another shirt. Well, I guess you're going to be suspended for the day now, aren't you? And we're going to be contacting your folks on this one. If Ma heard about this one, my mother was so damn liberal, it was not even funny at that point. But you did mess around with Ma, and you did mess around with her kids. Ma would have been on their ass like crazy. I mean, shit. Let me give myself permission to go crazy on the language at this point. We did have a few we did have a few teachers out there in the school system that didn't allow that much creativity, that much lucid, uh, looseness in the lubrication. We didn't have school officials out there that would constantly drive parents crazy. We had a few of them, not many. But once you get a determined parent who's willing to go to the school board meetings and really wreak havoc, my mother would do it. My mother would. She was that. She wanted our students to get the education needed, but she didn't like the conformity that they're applying on us or making us comply to. And she would fight like hell. And if my mother actually read this article, if she was still alive, still lucid and able to read this article, we would have discussions over this one. We would have discussions on the CNN articles that we'd see concerning about a black student and his family fighting Texas, fighting a school system over here concerning about racism in class in the form of demanding hairstyles have to be uniformity and compliant. They have to be uniform. Oh, I should be having a conniption fit on this one. My brother would care less. But, he's a bit liberal minded at this point over here, but he was still, you know, I would probably have to raise his heckles on this one. But this is what pisses me off. This is what pisses me off. I see something like this and I see myself in it. I put myself into the picture and understanding what's going on with this. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with the viewpoint right now? I'm reading the article. Yes, it is a slanted article if we want to look at it in one particular point of view. But since I'm reading it in that particular point of view, I got to take a look at the entire spectrum at this point over here. Why do they consider it necessary to be stringent and protective? Hell, we could do the same damn shit on you, dude. Let's just say that for your being you right now, being a painter, and being among other things, that there's a complicity. No. There's a compliance. There's a form of compliance that you have to do. There's a standard that you have to be and maintain. Otherwise, you're not allowed. Okay, let's pick on you anyway. I look at your picture on there, I look at your picture on there, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what the hell is this guy over here? Let's get, here comes Pandora's box being blasted open at this point over here. You're taking a Stargate SG-1 Goa'uld staff blasted the thing and blast the thing open. Nothing left of it. Okay. Conform, complicity, compliant. You're always wearing that. Okay, let's do the finger pointing on this one. I mean, let's go out on this one. Okay, let's make an example of this situation over here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to be pointing the finger at you, Mr. Artist in Recovery. You are not who you're supposed to be. Your thought patterns are not consistent with the American youth unity and conformity. You are not wearing the usual uniform. You're not wearing the usual color pattern, sir. And your hair sucks. You want to be an American? You want to be American? Your school system sucks because it didn't do conformity or complicity. You, sir, are an abomination. Your plurality will destroy us all. You must be united. You must conform. You must. You must. You must. Now, if we're going to be throwing insult to injury at this point over here, the movie V for Vendetta, the Unity Party. Fictional, yes. If I happen to use if I happen to use any real historical, would that be pissing off more people left and right at this point? Probably. So I'll throw in the movie. A party out in England. There was some kind of, in this particular movie, plot. The United States was falling, government failing, and Great Britain took over. But in jolly old England, there was a unity party where this one madman kept screaming that he wanted unity, and complicity, and everything else. Donald Trump crap. And people obeyed it. And they loved him for him until they found out what kind of an asshole he turned out to be. Authoritative governments left and right telling you what's going to happen. This is the thing that we fight on every single day. This is the thing we fight on every single moment. Now, there's going to be people pointing a finger at you at this point. They're going to be looking at you. They don't like what they see because they don't like to see when they look in the mirror, they don't like themselves. You see the independents on YouTube all the damn time. I'm seeing it. Too many damn algorithms are locking me into this damn bullshit. You got these independents going after the other independents left and right, trying to compare themselves, trying to bolster themselves, trying to puff out their damn chests. And you got a corporate media, if you want to call them corporate media at this point over here, or just media for change, trying to prove that their versions are better. How about this for another science fiction stuff? You ever heard of the show back in the 80s, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, called Max Headroom? What was it? Freewood? I gotta get that. Let me get that comedian's name on this one here. I used to be a fast typer a long time ago. Oh, what did I miss? Okay, here we go. Matt Frewer, that's the guy, comedian. He, on this particular 80s show, was it back in the 80s? Come on, give me that again. For the love of St. Mike. Come on. 1985. Killer. Okay, so the computer animation was getting better and better during those days. So you had the actor named of Matt Frewer, who's acting both a comedian and a dramatic in this one season genre that's still out there. You talk about cyberpunk. This was cyberpunk. This was cyberpunk. But this was also like 15 minutes into the future. or so many minutes into the future that we're looking at, a sidestep of our culture, our humanity and country, devoted entirely to a network, to television's network. How dystopian it looked, how insane it looked. I watched this thing because I didn't know any better because I was a kid. Now I look back at the memories of this thing, and I'm thinking, my God, we could have been like that. Buried with the televisions. Well, we're buried with our damn cell phones in our faces at this point. But no, we're dealing with the ideas and concepts that were controlled by media left and right. Well, aren't we? But I know I'm opening up a Pandora's box on this long show. But it was something I wanted to demonstrate a little bit here. That kind of thinking we're getting into right now, Daryl. Even you got to see it. Even you had to see it. Coming across with other people left and right. Even on social media, but screwing the social media and the electronic platforms that we got right now. I'm talking about real face to face here. Now, I don't know if you guys are still a red or blue, like minded thinking, being a kind of a state physically and mentally and otherwise. Are you guys that into complicity, compliance, uniformity? You must be uniform. You must be united. You must be. Are you all thinking that way, or is there portions of your state that you're living in, your community, that you're like that? I know my particular place over here, yeah, we love our freedom, but they're still worshiping Trump and his mouth. They don't trust media all that much. So they're stuck in their own little ways. And there are isolated people out there who like to think a little bit independent. But we're not living in a separate. Well, actually, we are living in a segregated community out here in Roseman. You see, let me see how much time we got left. Yeah, gotta get my glasses washed. That's why I got these things off. But we are in a segregated community at this point over here. We got the higher income, we got the lower income. The lower incomes are also the retirees who've got the broken down trailer homes we've got out here and houses that are about 50, 75, maybe 100,000, but not looking as much, looking as rentals and rundown places, a few ranches up in the hills at this point. And then we got apartment complexes built over here. They actually have roaches and God knows what else we got crawling out of these things. So, that being said, with the community that we have and the mentality we have, we are like the other side of the tracks, so to speak. Now, or the side of the freeway, I would call it, not just tracks. Because on the west end of Roseman, um, hang on, let's just, because of time constraints and memory, let's do another one.